There we go. Sorry about that. I forgot that part. Good morning, everybody. It is so good to see everybody. So, like I said, Rodney surprised Alita with a little birthday trip. So they are on their way. So she asked me to come on and share with you guys. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about simplicity. Um, Not only the simplicity kind of what we do, but sometimes the simplicity of life. I feel sometimes that, when life throws us curveballs, which inevitably it's going to happen 24/7, when business throws us curveballs, when all those things get thrown at us, it's so easy for us to get twisted up in our minds about how we have to readjust or pivot. And sometimes that can be really overwhelming. But if we take that second to take a step back, take a deep breath, and really just kind of evaluate where we are, it actually can be very simple rather than being so complicated. So something as a message. So I've been working with Phil, and I sent him a couple of my messages the other day, and I was checking up with a customer, and I just sent a message. She's in one of the challenges that we're doing. I know she's loving it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, how are you liking your products and everything? And the simplicity of this makes me giggle because Phil was like, Amanda, great message. But what if you said, how are you loving your products versus how are you liking your products? And I was like, wow, just that simple change in the wording versus how do you like something over how do you love something was such a simple change to make that I overcomplicated it in my head. In my head, when I was writing that message, it was I had to, say what I needed to say and put all these things in there. But go back to something Caitlin taught me probably a year and a half ago is the kiss. Keep it simple, sweetheart. And I talked about it in Gold School too, about how just seriously just keeping it simple and not overwhelming our everyday. This morning, we were up nice and early, and I said to the boys, before school, let's go run to Dunkin'. And we were going to go to Dunkin', and the one road was closed. And for me to turn around, I had to turn around and then go sit in all the traffic. And my son was like, we're never going to make it. We're never going to get to school. Like he was having all these meltdowns. But I kept telling him, like, it's all right, bud. We just have to pivot. We just have to pivot a little bit. Even if you're late a couple minutes, I can still sign you in. Like, but normally I would have gotten very rattled and I would have gotten very, oh my God, we're going to be late. Being late for me is a big thing. So I would have gotten myself very rattled. We're going to be late. You're going to be late for school. But I was just like, you know what? We can just pivot, bud. It's all good. We'll figure it out. And you know what? The funny thing is, we got there before everybody else got to school. We were actually earlier than we are on a normal day. So again, the mindset that the mind is so dang powerful, and we are the ones in control of it. Nobody else can control our mind but us. And I know that sounds so simple, but I also know how difficult it can be because the mind is so powerful. It literally can sway you one way or another. And how you let that pendulum swing again is your control. So if you feel yourself starting to go to one side, stop. Literally just stop. If you have to walk away from your desk, if you have to, excuse yourself, say, I got to go use the restroom, whatever it may be, literally stop yourself, go somewhere else, remove yourself from the situation, take a couple deep breaths and come back and look at it from a different mindset. Because if you try to change it from where you're sitting and where you're standing, it's probably not going to shift for you because your body is still in that same place. But if you physically move yourself to a different area, walk across your room, step outside, go to the restroom, whatever it may be, physically move your body and take a sip because my son's asking to take a sip of my drink. If you physically move your body to somewhere else, take a couple seconds, take those deep breaths, restructure your mind and come back to it. That is you gaining that power over your mindset. Again, you are the only one that can control that. For a while, I blamed my husband for everything because, it's the easiest thing to do. Well, I'm not happy because he made me angry. I'm not happy because he didn't take out the trash, whatever it may be. That wasn't the cause. It was actually me that needed some adjustments. It was myself that needed to change that. That also goes into our messaging. When we are reaching out to, new prospects, when we are reaching out to customers to check in, a lot of the times, if we go in, again, we're talking a lot about energy. Everything is about that energy bus. If we go into that message scared and intimidated, guess how they're going to feel that message, even though it's just a text message, but guess how they're going to read it? Scared and intimidated. But if you can take those deep breaths, fuel yourself up, listen to a song that hypes you up, do something, and then send that message, they're going to receive it in a way more powerful state. And you're going to get an answer back probably that you didn't really expect because they're feeling that vibration from you. So not right this second, sweetheart. Okay. We're in a parking lot, baby. Sorry. So all those different things, the mindset, the power that you have, that control that you have, don't mistake it, because it's easy to take that power and again, let that pendulum swing all the way to one side. And before you know it, the pendulum's like hitting up against the side of the negativity wall. And you're like, dang, how did I get over there so far? If you feel it swinging, stop yourself. Take those deep breaths. Close your eyes. Take that second to really center yourself. Grab control of that pendulum and swing it back to the middle. I'm not saying you got to take it all the way to the positive side, because who knows what you're going through. We all go through stuff. So whatever you're going through, you may not have all of that energy to take it all the way back over to the positive, but you have the control and the energy to start to shift it. And those little shifts each day are what eventually are going to gain that momentum for you, are what going to gain that power for you to then have it swing back to where you feel just in alignment. I'm sure we've all been in those situations where we feel completely out of alignment, and it's like, how the heck how did I get here, for one, and how do I get back on track? It's those little steps. If you think you can swing it all the way back over, you're probably going to overwhelm yourself. And here's the other thing. Grab onto your community. Grab on to the people that surround you. Right now, we are surrounded by people that are in such a high vibration energy. We have an amazing upline that has such amazing energy that if you're not feeling it, steal some of theirs. Grab some from them. They will share with you, I promise. Go for it. I promise they will share it with you. I've talked about this before, and if you've already heard it, I apologize, but I'm going to talk about it again. One day in church, they were talking about cows, and how when a storm comes, the cows actually herd together. And if a cow actually goes off on its own during a storm, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be good for that one that goes off by itself. I was always one that when a storm hit, I isolate myself, because I feel like I just got to figure it out myself. I gotta see what's going on. I just got to figure it out. I hear my dad in my head, just figure it out, Amanda. But here's the thing. We have such a strong herd. All of us together are so strong that through those storms, lean on us, lean on each other, reach out, because that's what's going to pull you through that storm. Sometimes you could be so low that the energy, again, going back to the energy, may not be there right in that moment for you. But Allie may have energy to give to you. Rach may have energy to give to you. Michael's going to have energy to give to you. Take a little bit from each person. Fill that cup and then battle that storm. We're all here together. We all want to grow together. We're all going to grow differently. Some of us are going to grow fast. Some of us are going to grow slow. But guess what? We're all growing. There's no stopping us. We're all moving forward, and that's just the way we're going to go. So I know I'm not all the way to 11, but that's where it's telling me to kind of slow it down right there for you. So if anybody wants to add anything, please unmute and jump in.
I'll hop on real quick. I'm sorry.
I have something. So it's funny because, you go ahead, Rach. You go ahead.
Real quick, I just wanted to harp on what Amanda was saying that um, don't go through it alone. There's so many people on this team that are rallying for you that will help uplift you and your energy, because I just personally went through that. And even just talking about it after the fact on Monday with a few of the people on our team, like it just lifted my spirits so much. Don't go through it alone. I know it's so easy to try to just, you know, turn in towards yourself and, you know, just suffer alone because you're like, well, I don't want to bother anyone. Bother us. Seriously, bother us. We want you to talk to us because it's so lonely when you try to handle it on your own, and none of us are meant to carry those burdens and those hurts and things by ourselves. So yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. One thing to another quote. I love my quotes. They say, when you share joy, it's doubled. When you share pain, it's cut in half. Go ahead, Allie. What were you going to jump in with?
I love that.
I was just gonna say, I may lose y'all. I'm on back roads, but I felt very convicted with this because this week has been a rough week. I spent Monday in the ER, and I'm normally one to just kind of I just kind of barrel through. Like, I'll tell a couple of people, and then I'm like, okay, head down, just try to keep going. But I know that that's a very lonely road, and I'm going to be honest about that. And I have tried to be pretty vulnerable with my team and just tell them, like, hey, like, this week is a struggle. Like, I'm struggling this week. And that was a hard thing for me to do. So I agree 100%. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I think my thing keeps going out, but that is a hard one for me, is pressing in when I'm not, like, it's easy for me to do when I feel like I've got, my crap together, but when I don't feel it, like it, I'm one to retreat. So that was so good, Amanda. I needed that today.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, Allie, I'm so proud of you for sharing with your team, because that's the other thing. We want to make sure, when we are growing our teams and when we are, reaching out, we got to show people we're real. Nobody's happy 24/7. Nobody skips around in rainbows and butterflies. We all got rain, but we have umbrellas, and we can throw up those umbrellas, and we can rally together, and we can be there for each other. So Allie, I'm so proud of you for being open and honest with your team, because I feel the same thing, as a growing leader. And I say a growing leader, I've had my school for 10 years, but I've learned more about leadership in these last 3 years of being with Plexus than I've learned in the 10 years with my school. And I'm taking what I'm learning with Plexus and bringing it back to my school. But as a growing leader, being vulnerable, sometimes you think, well, I can't be vulnerable because I got to be the leader that I need to be. But actually being vulnerable is one of the biggest things you can do in leadership. It is one of the biggest things to show the people that are looking up to you that it's okay. And I'm leaning on you because I trust you as much as you can lean on me because you trust me. So that's so, so important. Thank you guys both for sharing. Anybody else want to share anything, or, we can hop off and go rally our herd? Go ahead, Lisa.
I liked what you said in the beginning, because that's something that really resonated with me in learning how to message people about loving your products instead of liking your products. And there's certain words when you're messaging people, if you go back and reread it instead of like texting it out, typing it out and throwing it into the message, sending it. I have gone back to readjust my messages many times, because I think, okay, if I'm reading this, how am I going to take this? And you just, like, certain words, there's certain words that you just want to change and make it sound more inviting instead of demanding, or, on those lines. But I also like what you said just now about the leadership. One thing that I had to realize is I was a gymnastic teacher for 46 years, and I have been a school bus driver for 23 years. So I've always, like, in the past, I probably would have thought that that was like a leader position. But now that I'm learning true leadership, it's so different. And I feel like as a teacher and as a bus driver, I am a controller. Like I have to keep my class under control and I have to keep my bus under control and I have to, get all the things done, but, just make sure that there's, that everything's going smoothly. And, now some people may look at me as a mentor or leader in some way, shape, or form, but truly, I feel like that was more just keeping control of the situation. So going into Plexus and actually becoming, a leader and learning more about leadership, that has really resonated with me. So that's
I
all.
love that. It's, Phil said something last night. There's always room for growth, no matter where you are in life. No matter how high you are, you could be the top of the top of the top of the top. And guess what? There's always room to grow. So I love that. All right, y'all. Anybody else? Mom, you coming? Okay. All right. Well, listen, you guys have a beautiful, beautiful day. I don't know where you are. We started with a nasty thunderstorm this morning. Here we go. We started with a nasty thunderstorm and now we got beautiful blue skies. So huddle together with your herd, lean on your people. And I love you all. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Can we sit outside?